Welcome back to the SPBL, everybody. Tonight we have a great game in store for you tonight. I'm your host, Carson Piasek. Along with me is my co-host, Angel Diaz. Our other co-host, Will Mann, is unable to be on the broadcast tonight. But we have a great game, like I said, for you. We got the Gravediggers versus the Blackfriars tonight. The Blackfriars starting out the season 1-0 with a win over the Mystics. A very strong win, and a big highlight of that game is the newcomer, Sam Satterwhite. Many believe that he is a challenger to Chris Kina for that league MVP. Led the way with 26 points in that season opener, and his teammate Stephen Kina, also from the Scrappers, Chris's championship team last season, scored 20 points to assist along with Sam's 26. The 14-point win was a great start for this team. It needs to build up some chemistry. And on the other side of things, the Gravediggers started out 0-1 after losing to the Ball Hogs by 5 points. In that game, they gave up 18 points and 16 rebounds to Garrett Brooks, yet another MVP candidate. So they're definitely going to have to focus on slowing down Sam Satterwhite in this one. We saw Nate get out to a bit of a slow start, 15 points for him, but on 7 for 24 shooting, while his teammate Logan Shira contributed another 15 points as well. But Sam Honeycutt and Rob were unable to contribute as much as they probably hoped. This is another cast where they were in the core of Nate and Sam were in the championship last season, but they had some departures and got filled in with Logan and Rob, and they're going to have to work on getting that chemistry up, and they're going to have to get it soon tonight in order to take down this Blackfriars team that is off to a hot start. The Blackfriars of Sam and Steven, as I mentioned, are joined by Joe Kina and Nate Briers. And we hope to have a good one on the table for you tonight. I want to throw it over to Angel really quick. Do you have any quick things that you're looking out for in this game? Obviously, the two highlight players here are Nathan Smith and Sam Satterwhite in the top of the league conversation. Both guys that could be MVPs by the end of the season.
Yeah, I'm excited for a couple of reasons. One, I believe this is the first time I'll be watching Sam S live. I've heard great things about him. I know in the first game he went off for 20 plus points. He's a great outside shooter and he's a great scorer in general. And I'm excited to see how the Gravediggers bounce back. I had the pleasure of watching their first game against the Ball Hogs. Obviously, it didn't go the way they wanted to, but I believe that Nate is bound for a bounce back game. I know he's more than capable of really playing well, especially from outside, from shooting threes and just jumpers in general. But yeah, I'm excited to see how the Gravediggers bounce back, and I'm excited to see Sam versus Nate.
Couldn't have said it better myself. We should have a good one in store tonight. And without further ado, we'll go ahead and get to the tip between Nate Smith and Nate Briers. Nate Briers wins the tip over to Joe Kina. And not to confuse the audience here, each team in this matchup has a Nate and a Sam. We have Nate Briers and Sam Satterwhite for the Blackfriars, and then Nate Smith and Sam Honeycutt for the Gravediggers. Keep in mind when we're going through and calling this one, Joe Keenan missed the three to start, but the Blackfriars got the offensive rebound, and Stephen Keenan misses his own three. Another offensive rebound. Stephen Keenan, another missed three, and out of bounds. Right away on that first possession, you see two offensive rebounds for the Blackfriars.
Yeah, and 3 straight 3s. So right off the bat, just letting it fly. 2 3s from Steven. I'd like to see him get his first shots inside the paint to get the flow going, but those weren't bad shots.
Gravediggers on the other side. Their first game, they didn't have a great flow on offense, and that's something that they're definitely going to need to work on here. The offense was a bit stagnant in week one. We see some good movement here so far on their first possession. Sam Honeycutt being patient here, taking it in, tries to kick it out to Logan. Logan does not pull the three. Pulls the mid-range jumper and misses. Rebound to Nate Briers.
Something that I'm interested in seeing is not only how the Gravediggers look from outside, but I want to see more effort. I want to see them want it more. The last game, I didn't really see that much heart. I think that's the first thing that you need to change as a team, and it seems like they're playing with a bit more energy to start off this game.
Definitely more heart and a bit more cohesion across the team on offense and defense. Probably could have gotten them the win against the Ball Hogs. It was a fairly close game throughout, with despite not having a great shooting performance. So they're definitely hoping to get that energy up, get that flow going, and put up some more points in this one after that 36-point effort to start the season. Sam with the mid range. Don't see that very often, but he hits the mid range, and that is the first bucket of the game, courtesy of Sam Honeycutt.
Yeah, you're right. Sam doesn't usually take many jump shots. He doesn't make them that often either, but you're giving him plenty of space, and he's more than capable of hitting a wide open mid-range jumper.
Steven does not pull the three this time. Sam Satterwhite still has not shot the ball yet. The Gravediggers seem to be focusing on him quite a bit on defense. Missed the layup, rebound to Nate.
Yeah, I was about to mention that too. We've had maybe 5 or 6 shots without Sam getting a shot off. So if I'm the Blackfriars, I'm looking to get Sam going right away.
It definitely can help your team when starting off cold, or if you're in a bit of a slump, finding your star player and getting them some shot opportunities. Looks like we got a 3-second lane
3 seconds.
violation, a defensive 3-second lane violation on Nate Briers. It's going to be a technical free throw for Nathan Smith. Chris Keena on the call with that one. You've also got Garrett Brooks refereeing here.
Yeah, obviously you want to have Nate. I was afraid I was about jinxing that. I was gonna say you want to have Nate taking that free throw. Not only is he your best shooter, but just him seeing the ball go through, especially after a relatively tough game, the first game. I think this is a good sign for the Gravediggers.
Already up 3-0 to start this game. Steven defending Nathan. Steven infamously face guarded Nathan for entire matchups last season when he was a part of the Scrappers. Sam Honeycutt misses the layup, but rebounded by Rob. Rob, also known to be an offensive rebounding threat, the only player in league history who averages more offensive rebounds per game than defensive rebounds per game. It is truly remarkable. Not sure how he does it, but he is a menace on the offensive glass.
Yeah, he brings a lot of value. He's usually in the baseline cutting for either easy looks or going for an offensive rebound, and he's doing both of those really well so far.
Steven not afraid to get physical with Nathan. Nathan misses that shot there, but offensive rebound. Over to Rob. Rob looking for a teammate. Gets over to Sam. Sam pulls another mid-range. Cannot get that one to fall. And Sam Satterwhite with the rebound pushing it hard in transition, but close it up here.
What a move.
Joe Keena passes over to Sam. Steven. Steven misses the layup, defended by Rob. Good defense there. Gravediggers going the other way. Nathan from 3 can't leave him open, and he makes them pay. It is a 6-0 game. Start off here. Gravediggers in the lead.
Yeah, great shot by Nate. It looked like he had a layup, but he also had a wide open 3. And if you're Nate, hey, that's a great shot too.
Nate, the league leader in 3-point percentage all time, but he is closely followed by Neil Alsup, known as Neil Sanity around the league. And Sam Satterwhite, obviously not qualified yet, but could be a contender for the league leader in 3-point percentage if he keeps up his pace so far. Steven gets blocked by Logan and rebound Blackfriars. It is still 6-0. Logan misses the layup. Almost a great play 2 ways there, but Blackfriars with the ball, looking to score their first points here today.
We saw in the first game, interesting camera switch, that in the first game that the Gravediggers had some trouble getting back on defense. I know if you're the Blackfriars, you don't have that Garrett type of threat in the fast break on the one-on-one open. That I would still try to push it as much as possible whenever you get a defensive rebound. Even when you're tired, you got to push through because this is how you can get easy shots against Gravediggers.
Apologies here on the score. It is 6-2, actually. The Gravediggers did make a layup earlier. Apologies, the Blackfriars did make a layup earlier to make it 6-2. So Gravediggers lead by a score of 6-2. Still, very slow start for the Blackfriars. 2 points in the first 5 minutes. Definitely not what they were hoping for after that hot start to the season against the Mystics. But Gravediggers have had a plan on defense here in this one, definitely limiting Sam Satterwhite's touches, and they've been successful with it so far.
They have only one shot off for Sam so far.
Sam over to Logan. Logan does not pull the three, looking to take it on Sam Satterwhite. Over to Sam Honeycutt. Pulls it out. Looking to drive in over. Thought I heard a whistle there, but no whistle. Steven taking the ball. Turnover from Sam Honeycutt. Nate Briers pulls up from deep and hits the three
Wow.
right in Rob's face. 6-5. Gravediggers still lead.
And that's an interesting shot because I wouldn't even call that wide open. You can get that shot off anytime if you're Nate, but he must have been feeling it, and obviously it was a good shot if he makes it.
Nate Briers is known to occasionally pull some threes. He's not necessarily a fantastic three-point shooter, but he is capable, and sometimes if he's feeling it, he's feeling it, and he'll make you pay if you are not uptight on him. Logan been defending Sam so far in this one, defending him fairly well. Nathan on Steven. Steven, not necessarily a fantastic scorer by any means, but he is able to get points when they matter, and he is kind of going to be the X factor for this Blackfriars team throughout the season as teams start to hone in on Sam Satterwhite more on defense. Steven will definitely need to be stepping up and scoring to keep them in it. Nate Briers with a good offensive rebound, but misses the putback and falls to the ground with Nate Smith going the other way.
Good ball movement by the Blackfriars. Even though that wasn't a great shot, I liked how they made several passes to get that shot off.
Nate Smith with a deep three-point attempt, no good. Rebounded by the Blackfriars. Steven Keena hits the mid-range jumper over Rob and makes it a 7-6 game. Blackfriars in the lead.
Yeah, great shot by Steven working the baseline to get a wide open mid-range shot. He's more than capable of hitting those.
Logan looking for Nate. A little bit of a two-man operation here on offense. Don't normally see Sam or Rob scoring it very much, as we mentioned, but Logan and Nate can both fill it up when needed. Sam, lots of pivots here. Turns around and no good. Sam Satterwhite pushing it the other way.
Something interesting about both teams is you have plenty of players who can generate their own shot. I mean, good move by Sam to get his own rebound. I believe there was travel, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, end of the quarter. But I was just saying you got plenty of options to generate offense on both sides, especially on the perimeter. That's where both of these teams excel.
Sam hit that shot just before the end of the quarter to make it a 9-6 game, led by the Blackfriars after the hot start from the Gravediggers. Gravediggers have suddenly gone cold and have not scored in 4 minutes.
If you're Sam, you got to be more decisive there. Yeah, there we go. You got to make a move there. They're leaving you wide open. Either hit them with a floater or take it all the way to the hoop. It's going to be there every time.
That does break the scoring drought here. To open the second quarter, that makes it 4 points for Sam Honeycutt, and Nate Smith also has 4 himself. Sets the lead down to 1 for the Blackfriars.
So far, my first ever live reaction of Sam S playing basketball. The biggest thing that I take away from his game is his patience. He is more than capable of hitting shots like that, but he is also patient, willing to get a wide open shot, and if it's there, he is willing to take that, and he did right there.
Sam, a very smart player. He will not be forcing anything, and that's something that we'll have to see how things change throughout the season as teams focus on him more. And if the team ever is cold, will he start to force things? But so far, he hasn't needed to, and he's been very effective when he's had the ball. Logan loses the ball out of bounds, and Luke Briers over there, the third referee tonight, calls it out of bounds on the Gravediggers. Blackfriars the other way.
Yeah, the Gravediggers not doing a great job of taking care of the ball. You gotta take care of the ball a little bit more if you want to get more shots, and that's what wins you games. Getting more shots off than the other team, and protecting the ball goes a long way when it comes to that area.
Blackfriars leading 12-8. Sam gets closed out hard by Nate. Don't want him getting another three off. Over to Steven, who's left wide open, and he makes the three. And that's three different players now for the Blackfriars that have hit a three.
Yeah, great find by Sam. Great shot by Steven. Wide open three. That's a great look.
Nate misses the layup, but Logan gets the rebound and the putback. Prevents any sort of run here from the Blackfriars, but they do still lead 15-10. And like you said, right when you start to focus too much on Sam Satterwhite, you leave open a Steven or a Nate Briers, and they can make you pay. Joe Keen are going to fire his own. He will not make them pay. Nate Smith with the rebound.
That's a good shot for Joe. If they're leaving you wide open, you got to take that. You got to make them respect you, guard up, and that's going to create a lot more space for the rest of your team.
Sam Honeycutt loses the ball there. No pressure on him, but tries to go between the legs and hands it right over to Stephen Kina.
Once again, sloppy play by the Diggers and great
Sam.
pass.
Unable to finish that play, though. Steven with the missed layup. Got to use the glass in that situation.
If I'm Nate, I'm calling an ISO and posting up. You're doubling, you got to swing it and attack. Great pass.
You saw almost a double team there as Steven, the one who was guarding Nate, who got switched off. Joe Kino was on him, but Steven was just right there to help him, leaving Sam Honeycutt wide open. But Sam Honeycutt unable to generate anything when the ball swung over to him. Gravediggers lose possession. Steven with a three, no good. Back to the Gravediggers.
Yeah, interesting defense there by the Diggers. I believe Rob was supposed to be guarding Steven there. He just sat in the paint, left him open. That Steven could hit those. I wouldn't be giving him that much space.
Nate, step back three, airballed, and out of bounds over to the Blackfriars.
Yeah, tough shot. Not only was that a step back, he was a bit. Look at here. He was. Oh, I believe that was. Oh, I'm mistaken. I thought that was halftime for a second. No, but I was saying that not only was that a step back, but that was far behind the 3-point line. So tough shot, somewhat contested. That Nate, I'm looking to drive if I have the other Nate on me.
And we've seen a lot of 3-point attempts from these Blackfriars. And right as I say it, we see Sam go right into the paint, misses his layup. Nate Briers with an offensive rebound, misses that one. Nate Briers with a handful of offensive rebounds in this one, but has not been able to make the putbacks, and it's cost him quite a few points. Sam dribbles in, kicks it out. Gravediggers swing it around. Logan pulls up off the screen, misses. Steven with the rebound.
Yeah, tough luck. Not only was that beat on the line, which if you make it, it's a 2 instead of a 3, obviously. But if I'm Logan, I'm looking to take a shot slightly closer to the basket as we see another 3-pointer.
Nate Briers with the bank 3. He's 2 for 2 from deep. Both of them coming from the top of the key. He likes shooting from the top of the key. That one, not the best release, but it goes in anyways.
Yeah, Nate, a very analytical player. It's either a 3 or a layup for him.
Nate Smith tried to drive in there. Did not get the layup to fall. and we have the Blackfriars going back the other way, leading 18-10. Gravediggers definitely need to get some stops here. We see Nate guarding Nate Briers now. Looks like they've been kind of switching things up on defense a bit, trying to
The
hone
the
in
Black
on these offensive weapons. And Steven gets around a mid-range jumper. Good.
and the Blackfriars playing 4 out with Nate hitting those threes, so that's gonna give plenty of space to drive in and attack the basket. And if Nate is hitting those threes, you got to respect the shot.
Logan pulls up from really deep. Seems like there was a bit of frustration in that shot and no good. Gravediggers down 10-20, getting doubled up here in the second quarter. Coming up on halftime, and they're definitely going to need to be talking things over after their hot start. When they scored their first six, they have really struggled to generate offense since then. Sam Satterwhite at the top of the key, taking it all the way in. The reverse layup, good. You see him go right by Logan, and Nate's help was not good enough.
A great take by Sam. Way to use his speed to get to the basket and finish on the other side, using the rim to protect him.
Blackfriars up 22-10, and it has been all Blackfriars here in this quarter. Sam trying to get inside, kicks it out to Logan. Sure, the Gravediggers would appreciate Sam being a bit more of a threat to score, and that would definitely open things up for others more. As you see, Nate an open three doesn't get a lot of those, and he makes them pay when he does get the opportunity.
Yeah, great shot. The Diggers got lucky for the ball to bounce right into Nate's hands, wide open from three, and Nate being able to hit that shot is a great look for the Diggers to hopefully get him back on track.
Nate, a newcomer to the SPBL in 2022, or apologies, 2023, was a great addition for the league, was a fantastic three-point shooter like the league had not seen until now with Sam Satterwhite hitting threes as well. But players have really started to hone in on Nate on defense and have really tried to cut him off. And when they do that, he definitely needs his teammates to kind of step up. But whenever he gets open, he's got to take advantage, and he has been so far. A foul looks like they call a blocking foul. Garrett on the call. Chris thought it was a charge for a second, but calls the blocking foul. Regardless, it will be Sam Honeycutt to the line for two.
Yeah, I think it's the right call. I think it's a blocking foul. But something that I wanted to mention now that we have a bit more time with these free throws is I feel like with the Blackfriars, they have that identity. They know Sam S is a star player. He's going to get most of the touches on offense. And they have Stevens to complement him as a secondary option. And then you have Nate and Joe as great complementary pieces that are able to hit a wide open shot, that are able to play good defense, able to get rebounds. While the Gravediggers, I feel like you have three good options on offense, but they're struggling to see not necessarily who's the number one option, but who should be creating most of the offense if they're them. Like, is it a 30-30-30-10 split for them, or is it someone who gets most of the looks on offense? I feel like with the Blackfriars, they just have more of that identity, and that's why they're playing better basketball.
As you see, Joe Keena emote pass there. He passed it to the top of the key and spun around and ran down the court, looking like he's on the park in 2K. Steven missed the three, though. Doesn't matter. The Blackfriars still lead by a score of 25-14 at halftime. And to touch on what you were talking about just there, I think that's good to mention. The Gravediggers, Sam Honeycutt is a player who has always been someone that the offense runs through, despite him not necessarily being a scoring threat, kind of playing like a TJ McConnell type of player who doesn't necessarily need to be a scoring threat to generate offense. But when you have someone like Logan, who is a good shot creator, and someone like Nate, who likes to have the ball in his hands, things can get a bit crowded in this offense. And so I do think they need to get a bit more of an identity here in order to have some more synergy on offense moving forward.
Right, and with Sam and Logan, most of their points come off of the dribble. While with the Blackfriars, you have Joe and Nate who are getting most of their shots either through putbacks or three-pointers. So just the overall ball movements and the amount of time the ball's in their hands is quite different when you compare both of these teams.
Nate Breyer's airball's late. We see
There,
Garrett Brooks, the referee, ducking for cover. Nate Breyer's struggling inside, but he has hit those 2 threes, which have been huge for the Blackfriars as they're up 11 still. And I think one of the main storylines here is in their first game, the Gravediggers only put up 36 points. Here they've got 14 and now 16, courtesy of that Nate layup. And you touched on, the different ball handling abilities and the different amount of touches that these players can get on offense. But in your mind, if you were the coach of the Gravediggers, what do you think your advice might be right now in terms of trying to get things going on offense, generating some points, no matter how you can get them?
it's a bit tough because for me, I want to get the ball in my best player's hands as much as possible. The problem is that with a player like Sam, I feel like he sometimes needs the ball in his hands. So I would just try to find ways to incorporate maybe Sam and Nate in a pick and pop situation where Nate is the first option on a play like that, but you still have the ball in a player like Sam's hands. And then you have Logan on the perimeter, spot up from three. If something else, I would incorporate Rob a bit more. Like, how many times has he touched the ball? Even if he's not going to create a shot on his own, you could use him on a give and go, use him as a screen, and use him as a potential romance. So I would just incorporate Rob a bit more into the offense as well. I feel like he's being forgotten about.
Yeah, Rob, not only to be an offensive threat, but even if you're not a scoring threat, you can still make yourself useful on offense. And it comes down to the team's ability to tell him, what to do. Not necessarily the best basketball IQ, but if you give him some direction, give him some coaching, I'm sure he will put effort into whatever you instruct him to do, and he will do his best to help the team win.
Yes, I agree. And let me try to get some slightly better lighting on the next dead ball. Okay.
Nate Bryce with a turnaround mid range. No good. Nate Smith with the rebound, pushing it hard the other way.
Okay, it's not
Camera
gonna
trying to
work.
catch up to Nate. Blazing speed moving down the court. Logan tries to kick it out and turns it over. Blackfriars ball. Midway through the third quarter here, Gravediggers are going to need to get some scoring on the board. Nate Bryars
Wow.
from deep,
Three for
another
three.
three-pointer, just
Wow.
killing the Gravediggers out here. You see the Gravediggers look so deflated right now, and even if you are defending Sam Satterwhite hard, even if you're trying to limit Steven, Nate Bryars will make you pay from deep, and those are some back-breaking threes.
Yeah, and keep feeding him because, like, why not? Why not? I believe he's 3 for 3 from three. And just keep on giving him those shots as we see Rob with a nice layup. And he's 1 for 1. He's on the board.
There you go, talking about how Rob needs to be more involved in the offense, and Rob gets the turnaround layup right as you say it.
There we go.
There's some good lighting.
Yeah, I was a shadow for a little earlier.
Stephen Keenan with the ball. Takes it in and lays it in.
Layup. Great move by Steven. If I am the Gravediggers, I am looking to speed up the pace a little bit. You are down quite a few points, so walking the ball up doesn't really do you much good at this point of the game.
Need a lot of stops and a lot of scores to get back into this one. Gravediggers, we mentioned that they didn't look very cohesive in the first game. They looked like they're a bit more cohesive in this one, but the Blackfriars are just totally overmatched against them in this one right now, especially with Nate Briers hitting those threes. Sam Satterwhite not even having to do too much in this game so far because of the contributions from Nate and Steven.
Yeah, I was about to mention that. It's like Sam S has played an amazing game, but it doesn't feel like he's done a whole ton, like in terms of overall volume. That just shows how good of a player he is. For him to be able to still put up great stats, as I'm sure he has right now, but with him having to take up that many touches and that much time with the ball in his hands.
Right. As we mentioned, Sam Satterwhite had 26 in the season opener against the Mystics. 26, 9, and 6 was his stat line. He's got 14 here in this one, and to go along with 7 rebounds and 4 assists.
Yeah, very good all around game for him so far. Sam looks like he's talking trash to a fan. Can't really tell. There's some dialogue taking place.
Looks like he's going down this one. Someone might have just challenged him to go
Yeah.
get a bucket, and he did.
Yeah, I mean, the last 2 possessions, he's been, as the young kids say, in his bag, trying to get a good shot for him, and he does that. He does so there.
A minute and a half left in this third quarter, and it has been all Blackfriars. Gravediggers really going to need to work out some issues here as Nate goes in and gets a layup. They're really going to have to start to figure out how they can create a cohesive offense, because if they're unable to score like the rest of the teams, it's going to be very hard for them to win games. Now, I will say the Blackfriars, this being their second game and dominating again, are looking like a very, very strong team right now. You know, largely due to the newcomer Sam Satterwhite and the addition of Stephen Keena to pair with Joe Keena and Nate Briers. But right now, this team looks like a team that could maybe challenge the Scrappers. And I know you've seen a good bit of the Scrappers. They lost Stephen Keena this season, but replaced him with Michael Roberts. I'd love to hear what you think about their ability to match up with the Scrappers, the Blackfriars versus the Scrappers.
Yeah, like how you said, I think the Blackfriars looking really good so far. Obviously, this is their second game. They started off 1-0, but they have looked really good, and I do think that they could give the Scrappers a run for their money. Obviously, you have a player like Chris Kina, who is a winner in this league, and he has a good supporting cast around him. But I feel like Sam is looking easily like a top 3 player in this league, as we see
What a moment right
commotion
there.
taking place.
Sam gets shoved. We see a replay here. Sam going down to get that rebound. Looks like there's a bit of a hustle. Sam gets up clapping, and Nate Briers comes over and shoves him.
Ooh.
Sam goes down. Looks like we had a technical assessment Nate Briers, and rightfully so. Definitely no place in the league for that. We have a technical free throw here.
Yeah, I don't know what that was all about, but man, poor Sam. That's all I'll say.
It seemed like the last couple of minutes, the things were starting to get a little bit heated. Some people on the sidelines were talking, and Sam is known to be a talker himself, and he got up clapping in Nate's face, despite being down by 14, 13 now after the free throw from Nate.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's either my computer's battery or good lighting.
So it turns out that Sam injured his wrist on that play, and Sam is hurt and unable to continue. And so we've got The remainder of the game being
There you go.
covered by Alan. Alan, a previous SPBL member. Sam Honeycutt is going to be out at the end of the third quarter here coming up, and an injured Sam Honeycutt will not be able to continue.
That was a vacation, son.
Yeah, apologies,
Logan
folks, for the lighting. Got that fixed now. The computer is good now, so I was able to figure that out. But no, as you were saying, like, man, I mean, that's a big. Not only is that a big loss, but I mean, you're already down in this game. Now you gotta have a new player gel with this team. But I would imagine that we have at least a 1 game suspension for Nate. I mean, causing a player on the opposing team to get injured. I mean, we'll see what the league punishment is for Nate. But we'll see.
Yeah,
As we have some interesting dribbling.
The lineups definitely are thin as all 4 players are playing the full game, no subs. And so with the injury to Sam Honeycutt, the Gravediggers are going to replace him with Allen, who, like I mentioned, a previous SPBL member. And he was very much looking to get back into the league here as a replacement for Sam now. And this type of change for the Gravediggers should give them a bit more scoring on offense, which is what they are in need of at the moment. Maybe not quite the game manager that Sam is, but he will give his full effort, and he is a smart player in his own right and can provide a bit more scoring than Sam. But we'll have to see how he can now mesh with a team that is already struggling with some cohesion so far to start this season.
Yeah, well said, Carson. As we've been seeing a bit more of Heights being in the spotlight. If you look at the sideline, there he is.
We got Heights and Michael Roberts now refereeing instead of Garrett Brooks and Luke Bryars. They had a referee change, player change, and the Gravediggers are still down by 13 as a fancy pass there from Sam.
What a pass. Man, what a player, man. Nate having a great game, too. He is up to, I believe, 15 points, if I'm not mistaken. The man
Nate is sitting at 15 points, and that has been a huge contribution from them. Any contributions from Nate and Steven to go along with Sam's regular performance is going to be huge for this team. Nate, the step back 3, no good. Gravediggers kind of desperate right now. Need some points badly as Logan hits a 3 there. We're going to need more
deep
of them.
One, too. Yeah, no doubt. If I'm Rob, I am sitting in the paint. Obviously, Joe is more incapable of hitting those, but hasn't scored yet. Good defense right there. Great shot by Steven, but that's the type of help defense you need to play in a situation like this today.
Logan over to Allen. Allen finds Nate. Nate driving in, back up to Logan. Logan opts to drive in. Tries to throw it behind his head. No good. Nate Bryce the rebound. Sam going to push ahead. Finds Steven across the court. Up to Nate. Will he pull again? He does not.
Thought about it.
Joe pulls, though. Misses. Steven with the putback. No good. Nate with the rebound. Gravediggers in need of a lot of points here with 5 minutes left.
If you're the Diggers, you gotta generate something quick. Yeah, that's the type of shot that you need. Not the greatest shot in the world, but it's a quick and relatively decent shot for someone close. But look at the Carson. Look at the body language compared to both teams. Like the Blackfriars look so calm, relaxed. Kind of that street ball feel. Well, as I say that, now we have too casual of a pass from the Diggers. But I was saying the Diggers look a bit more tense, as obviously they're down. But man, completely different body language between both teams right now, for the most part.
Right. This Blackfriars team has really meshed well to start the season, and they're having fun out there for sure. I think Sam
Yeah.
is a big reason for that. Sam is both he's a smart player, a talented player, and a fun player, and he makes sure to get his teammates involved. And it's really easy to have fun when you're winning as well. On the other side, definitely Gravediggers. Body language isn't great, and after this start to the season that they've had, they're going to need to find a way to turn it around and get some energy into these games, get some energy, effort, and then hopefully get some spark on offense that can get them going. But scoring 30 points a game is not going to win you many games in this league.
Wow.
Even with a fancy layup there going reverse.
Yeah, great move by Steven. Like how you said, yeah, 30 points isn't going to get you anywhere in this league. Obviously, different teams have, as Nate pulls a deep three, yeah, different teams have different styles, different tempos, but if you're the Gravediggers, your calling is supposed to be on offense, on that side of the ball, not necessarily on defense. So if you're the Gravediggers, you got to win through good shooting, good scoring, just good offense in general.
Yeah, there are some teams that have been in this league in the past. Sam with another deep three, just killing the Gravediggers here. Allen calls for a timeout,
I, I will
and
say, I'm not. No, go ahead, Carson. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say it's a 47-26 game here. That's probably the nail in the coffin if the coffin wasn't closed already.
I'm ready to say, Sam. I'm not sure if he's the most dominant or even best player in this league, but I'm gonna say he's the most complete player when it comes to having just an all-around game, little to no weaknesses. I mean, great playmaker, great shooter, great ball handling, good at generating offense. I know, sort of glazing right now, but I'm impressed. I'm impressed by Sam so far.
And you can definitely see why he has been in the MVP conversations with Chris Kina. Chris, obviously, reigning MVP of this league, has won 2 championships in a row, looking for a three-peat. And Sam right now with this Blackfriars team is really the main obstacle standing in the way as we are still early in the season. Um, but Steven there fouled on a jump shot. And like you mentioned, a great complete player who is very smart, gets his teammates involved, and he will make you pay when you leave him open. Does not force anything, and he can score from really anywhere on the court.
Well said.
Steven makes a free throw there. Misses that one. Nate with the rebound. Gravediggers going back the other way. Time to inflate some stats here. See if Nate can hit a couple threes. No good there.
Yeah, Nate frustrated there. Once again, the body language isn't the best of this team. I mean, it just starts with, I know you're down, but it just seems like you can't be overly frustrated. I guess you can say, like, throughout the course of the season. Like, you gotta have fun. You gotta find some type of spark if you're this team. I mean, yeah, making shots and playing better, like that helps. But I think it starts up here, just having a different approach, and I think just having a different mindset. I know it's easier said than done when you're down, but I think that's like the biggest switch that the Gravediggers can make. 2 free throws by Joe.
We have unfortunately received word that Sam Honeycutt will be out for the season with his wrist injury. And so that will vault Allen into a full-time role with this Gravediggers team as we see Logan hit a three there. And this is Allen's first chance to get some chemistry with these players, but this is going to be their team moving forward. Different type of player for sure. Whether that helps them or hurts them remains to be seen. But it's going to be interesting now with no Sam Honeycutt, having Allen kind of be that third option on offense instead.
Yeah, and yeah, sorry, and This is interesting because who is the point guard of this team? I mean, you have players who can like generate their own offense and do things off the dribble, but Sam was their point guard, so I don't really view Nate or Logan as a true point guard, like how you would look at someone like a Sam S or like a Joe. So it'll be interesting to see how they are being led on offense.
No real playmaker on this team now. Joe with the turnaround mid-range shot gets it to
Joe having
go.
having himself a quarter.
30 seconds left here in this one. It is all but over here. And the Blackfriars' next game will be against the Scrappers. And it is going to be a very highly tested game, very highly anticipated game, as these two teams are looking like the two favorites in the league right now, going
I
into
would
their third games.
I would say so. I mean, I had the Scrappers as my number one team in the power rankings before the season started, but I think the Blackfriars are definitely top two, if not number one at this point.
The final score of this one is 52 to 36. Apologies, 52 to 31. A 21-point victory for the Blackfriars, and they were led by Sam Satterwhite, who had 21 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists. A great showing from him. Was 3 for 4 from 3, 9 for 15 overall. A very efficient night, very smart player. He was also helped out by contributions of 14 points and 13 points from Steven and Nate Briers, respectively. Nate going 3 for 3 from deep in this one. Steven contributing with 6 for 17 from the field as well. And so overall, another fantastic team effort from this Blackfriars team. They've had no trouble getting chemistry right away. And I think a big part of that is Sam's style of play on offense, kind of being a great team leader for this team that has struggled in past seasons with their core of Joe and Nate Briers.
Yeah, I agree. And I think when you look at the Blackfriars, I feel like with a player like Sam leading the way, and if you have someone like Nate hitting, going 3 for 3 from three, and having 6 field goals from someone like Steven and Joe contributing at the end, I mean, they just seem like a well-oiled machine. While with the Gravediggers, I feel like their style of play is just more dependent on being able to hit shots. While with the Blackfriars, I feel like they are just naturally able to play well and they aren't necessarily dependent on someone heating up. I just feel like they are set up in a system where they can be led by their star player and they'll know they'll have good offense at the end of the day, whether they make or miss shots.
Right. The Gravediggers were led by Nate with 12 points and 11 rebounds. Logan contributed 10 points and 9 rebounds of his own. But the main storyline here is their shooting, as Nate was 4 for 22 from the field and Logan was 4 for 24. The duo combining for 4 for 19 from deep. And overall, the team shot 20% from three as opposed to 39% from the Blackfriars. And the Gravediggers actually got up 10 more shots than the Blackfriars, but their shooting percentage was less than half of that of the Blackfriars. And so it's been a real struggle here early on for the Gravediggers, who, they're not necessarily generating great looks, and you can see their shot percentage is kind of reflective of that.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, with the Gravediggers, if you aren't hitting those shots from deep, you aren't going to win too many games. I know it's the case for most teams, but they're just so dependent on the outside shot that if they're not hitting, they aren't able to be a force inside the paint. So they're just so dependent on three ball, and if they're not hitting shots, they just won't have that much of a chance against most teams, especially not a team like the Blackfriars.
Exactly. And we have seen in the past, Nathan Smith has had some fantastic games in last year's season. And we know that he could come out and get hot at any moment, but so far to start the season, it's not happened. And Logan, the addition to his team, the newcomer from last season, he has not been able to do it either. And so when these are your two players that you need to rely on for scoring, it's going to be very difficult to win games if neither of them are on. You need at least one of them to be hitting. And, hopefully Allen can provide some support there as well. That remains to be seen how he gets into this offense as opposed to Sam Honeycutt, who, as we mentioned, wasn't necessarily an offensive scoring threat, but he was able to generate looks for other players, and now they don't have that either.
Yeah, at the very least, with the addition of Allen, it can kind of serve as a fresh start for the Gravediggers. Maybe with this minor change in the lineup, they are able to figure it out that, yeah, obviously not looking good losing their primary ball handler, but maybe this could be the start of something new when it comes to how they're able to run this offense.
Right. So looking ahead, like I mentioned, Blackfriars have the Scrappers next, a very highly anticipated matchup. And the Gravediggers will be facing off against the Mystics next in what looks to be a matchup of two of the bottom teams in this league. And they're definitely going to want to get a win on the board in that one because these two teams could be the two that are fighting for a playoff spot looking down to the end of the season. And that puts so much more pressure on a game between those two teams.
Yeah, like I said, this got to be a must-win game against the Mystics. Obviously, both teams have been struggling, but this upcoming game is going to be especially important, like I said, for fighting for playoff contention. And you can't afford another loss if you're either team, honestly.
Right. Well, that will do it for our broadcast here from the main Diastic cast. We want to thank you for listening in with us, and we hope to see you again soon. We have a great slate of games coming up, and this league is off to a fantastic start. We've seen some hot teams to start, some title contenders, as well as some teams that really need to start to get on track soon before they fall out of the playoff picture altogether. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you for tuning in, and we wish you a good night.